Welcome back, humans! It's Saturday, and I'm back with the end of the week vent session. And before we get started, I would like it if you guys could hit that like button, hit the subscription, and turn on those notifications. I drop an episode every Wednesday and Saturday. And with that said, let's get on with the venting, shall we? Well, tonight, we got a fucking fight tonight. Like I said, speaking about it before, Canelo's coming up, and he's fighting this guy, Yaldarine. And like I said, last time I never really heard the guy, and I looked up his fight, and his last fight was him getting knocked out by somebody. You know, somebody was knocking him out. So I kind of feel like this dude's a punching bag. He's going to come and get his lip split. He's going to get fucking put night-night. And I think it's going to be a good fight. I think my man's going to come, and he's not going to be scared or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to go and try to, just try to prove something or try to trade or maybe just try to make it entertaining. And I think he's going to just, try to go out there and brawl and shit like that. And I think he's going to pay the price with it. I think we're going to, with our entertainment, I think we're going to get the better out of it. He's going to get the worst out of it because he's going to get, put out. You know what I'm saying? I think Canelo's going to knock him out. But a lot of people are talking about, they don't want to get this fight and they don't want to support these fights because the guys he's fighting aren't that good. And I agree with that. I agree with that big time. Because it's one thing, like I said, he's a great fighter, and there's no way denying that. Just his opponents, you know what I'm saying? And then he made a statement the other day, like he doesn't want to fight the Mexican fighters. And I'm like, man, you got to fight whoever's the best. You got to go after the greatest. You got to go after who's on top. You know what I'm saying? Or otherwise, it's going to hurt your legacy. You can go you can get all the big numbers, and it won't mean shit. If it ain't reputable people on your resume. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to fight tonight. Like I said, I'm picking him to knock him out somewhere in the middle. He might make him last the middle, or maybe not. Maybe he's going to try to trade early, and he might just get way knocked out, like when he put Kirkland and fucking what's his name, Amir Glassjaw Khan out there when he knocked them both, when he punched the souls out of their body. You know what I'm saying? That's probably going to happen tonight. I'm still going to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Damn it, I'm going to watch it because I love me some boxing. But man, he's going to hurt that boy. But yeah, like I said, man, his resume is kind of not where it should be. It started off really good. It started off getting some names in there, and then it's now it's huh? You know what I'm saying? How many times are you going to fight Gennady Golovkin? They're going to fight 5 times. Golovkin's getting old, you know what I'm saying? And he don't want to get punched by that dude that much longer. You know what I'm saying? So there's the Charlo brothers. They're talking a lot of smack, and I mean, they're good fighters and stuff like that, but I kind of just want them to might as well just knock him, go beat that dude up real quick and shut him up. And then, see what happens. But, like I said, there's not a lot of people in this weight class. And, right now they're fighting at, I forget what that weight class was, 156 or 166 or some shit like that. It was a weird weight. You know what I'm saying? And, but like I said, if he goes, any heavier, to fight the bigger guys, they're going to get way too big for him because he's not that tall and his reach was limited. Like, when he fought that Smith guy, you could see the size difference. Like, if Smith was, a better fighter, it might have been an ugly fight for Canelo, or he would have took long-term damage, fighting that bigger dude. So he's I feel like he's kind of avoiding guys, and maybe putting a little facade up in front of some of the non-educated boxing fans that are still great boxing fans by still seeing him, with these victorious knockouts and stuff like that, of these bumps. No disrespect. I know you're professionals, but you're not the big names is all I mean by the bum part. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's going to fight tonight. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm going to watch it. Looks like a decent undercard. And, I was talking about that one fight that was on last week that got nominated for Fight of the Year with Valdez and Burchell. And, man, I was watching some of the, the anticipation and workups to the fight, I was really shocked that Valdez was the underdog in this fight. It was interesting. Even the legends, I saw Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., the real legend, even pick Burchell over this fight, and I'm watching some of Burchell's fight. He looked pretty good. But when you see Valdez, man, it's man, there's no way I would have went against him on that. I don't know, man. It was crazy. And Valdez dominated the fight, man. He fucking, Burchell did pretty good in the opening, in the early rounds, but my man, his power started affecting that guy quick. He had no answer for like my man's left hook. And oh my gosh, man, he just ate a lot of big punches. I'm sure y'all have seen it by now. And with there being no crowd, that final knockout punch was disgusting. It sounded like a bass drum, dude. It sounded like a firework, like a big firework mortar, like those big mortars you hear at the professional firework shows when they shoot out. It was just like pow, just a big poof. And my man was just out. Like the big magic dust hit him, like poof, good night. And he like fell in stages. It was like, he fell like, I don't know, man. It was like 3 steps. It was like bing, 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 then he was down and out for like a long time. But yeah, I was just shocked on that, man. I couldn't believe that. I just thought it was weird the way he was the underdog. Man, but that was a good fight. That was a good fight. And there's a couple fights that I want to see, and that I don't even know if they're going to be made, but there's a couple fights that I do want to see. I want to see Pacquiao fight again before he gets too damn old, even though he looks old. He already looks like he's 50 or 60. You know what I'm saying? Like in his face. But his body looks good, you know what I'm saying? His legs are huge. He's got them short little tree trunk legs. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see him fight again before he gets too old, like I said, before he gets out of his like prime right now, because he looked really good against Thurman. I think I'd want to see him versus Spence, Earl Spence Jr. The way Spence looked in his last fight, he didn't look like the older Spence, so I was like a little worried when they were talking about that fight before this. Before the accident, I would have been like, I don't want this fight. I think, you know what I'm saying? But after I seen him against Garcia, I totally think that Pacquiao would serve him up and get the victory. Not like a stoppage or anything like that, but I guarantee you it would be a fucking decision unanimous, because I think Pacquiao's speed would be too much for him right now. He didn't look very defensive at all, but his offense looked pretty decent, but it wasn't the same. It just like when you see the fight, it just wasn't the same. I don't even think it was like what they call ring rust. It just didn't look the same to me. But I do want to see that fight before it gets too dangerous, where Pacquiao is maybe too old and Spence will still hurt him or something like that. But I think that'd be a good one I want to see. And they're talking about that Ryan Garcia versus Pacquiao. I feel bad. I think it would be a bad choice for Ryan Garcia's career, like I said, because I think Pacquiao will beat him, possibly even knock him out if that one guy knocked him out. That was just a nice little exposure of Ryan Garcia, because of the guys he's been fighting too. He just got like no names on his resume. So if that one guy that he fought, Campbell or whatever, dropped him, Pacquiao would put him all the way out. Gervonta Davis would put him all the way out. And any big puncher that can box, a decent boxer, will knock him out. Just expose his footwork, that's all. You know what I'm saying? And for all his fans out there, you guys should, cheer him on out there for the same thing. Tell him to get that defensive footwork up if he's going to step his, get into the big leagues with the big boys. You know what I'm saying? Because if he fought Pacquiao now and lost, the Davis fight would be like out of the water, because Davis is undefeated and he wouldn't be, regardless of the big name on his resume. You know what I'm saying? The fight would probably still happen, but it wouldn't have the same juice. It wouldn't have the same sauce on it. Wouldn't have the same flavor. You know what I mean? The same little bite. But that was one I'd like to see. And Andy Ruiz, he was the first Mexican Orale heavyweight champion ever, and he did a great job against Joshua in the first fight. He looked horrible in the second fight in the rematch. He looked horrible. He looked out of shape. You know what I'm saying? And what's his name just beat him down. But I've been watching him lately, and I took a lot of heat for this, calling him out, saying that he should be training more and stuff like that. I took a lot of heat for like a long time. People was just coming at me on Instagram. It was crazy, but it's only because I'm a fan of these things. I'm a fan of boxing. And if you guys are going to be those, great ones, that's what it takes. You got to be those gym rats. You know what I'm saying? That's what it takes. And so I've been seeing him lately, and man, he looks like in phenomenal fucking shape. He looks scary, man. And with the speed and punching power and his boxing ability that he already had when he was so much heavier, man, dude, he looks so fucking dangerous right now, dude. I can't wait to see who he's going to fight next, because he looks really good. I'm kind of excited to see whoever he's going to fight next. I would like to see him get another one, a trilogy with Joshua, and any other heavyweight out there. Even Deontay Wilder, even him coming off a loss, that would be a good matchup. Both of those guys were champions, and that would be a good matchup right there. And like I said, Ruiz looks really good. He looks really good, and because like I said, he was already a good boxer. He just was too out of shape. He was during the rematch. He just looked like I don't know, man. He looked like 100 pounds overweight. You know what I'm saying? From the last fight, because he was heavy in the first fight. And in the rematch, he looked way heavier. And then it looked like he just didn't have the stamina because Joshua just ran around circles around him and just kind of pot shotted him and, swelled his eyes closed and beat him up, man. So I feel like right now, man, he looks really good. And I think anybody, like any one of those guys, like him and Wilder or him and like Cruz or any of them heavyweights out there right now should get a good fight. And then he should probably try to get that trilogy. I think that'd be great. That would be some of the fights that I want to see. You know what I'm saying? That'd be so good. So, man, a lot of things like people have been talking about it lately, and I don't know. I think it's kind of like I should carry it on too because I think it should catch a little. Hopefully, it catches some wind, and people want to carry the pattern on or whatever, pass it around. But they're trying to get people to come together, and like people don't understand like or don't know a way how to come together. Me neither. I don't know a way to come together, and it seems like a lot of times here we've always had these like traumatic. I spoke before, but like a traumatic experience happens, a tragedy, then like people all come together. But I feel like on a global scale, like from a whole planet side, it would have to, if anything it would probably be, it wouldn't even be like a plague. You know what I mean? Because that's like, that's happening now, and that's not. It's like keeping people separated. It's not bringing nobody together. You know what I'm saying? At least it doesn't seem that way. But it would have to be like a catalyst. It'd have to be some kind of catalyst to get us all to like just see something on a bigger level. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Humans and us as humans, it would have to be like I brought it up many times, an alien invasion. Like the alien attack. If they were hostile, or if we didn't know they were hostile, but they just like started coming around, and like everybody started seeing them, and like the government had nothing else to do but start telling us, hey, look outside. This is what's going down. Like some science type shit. When it just made national news, you know what I'm saying? And these things were all over. So I think something like that. It wouldn't be zombies. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be zombies either. You know what I'm saying? But or would it be like better leadership? Would it be like some kind of like historical like pivotal leader just comes out of nowhere and just changes everything the way we live and just brought everything together? You know what I'm saying? Would it be like just all this big group of leaders decide to come through and like, make us all like just better, and everybody just changes and follows the ways, and then we all become back, we all get together and everybody's like in peace. Just a big peaceful planet. So that's what I think. I think it would be something crazy like that. It would have to be some wild, outrageous alien attack, and I think then we'd all be like together. We'd be protecting humans. It would be like almost like that Battle of Los Angeles too. You know what I'm saying? Just they came out of nowhere, and now it's for real. And you got to figure out a way to win somehow, or figure out. And if we did win, what would be the cost of it all? What would be the cost of it all? How long? And if we did win and we did it together, how long would it last before we would go back to our ways? Like we would go back to like the way we all hate each other and separate each other and, this, and that. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't even, what I'm saying? We can't even handle the freeway. You know what I'm saying? Too much road rage, everything. So how long would it last after that? After we were like, we all helped each other out and the aliens were left, or they became peaceful and we all decided to coexist. And then how long would it last before we all started being the same way? That's what the way, it's wild when you think about it. It's kind of crazy. But I feel like we would have to we do need to start coming together. Like everybody, we got to find a way and do it. We got to find a way to come together and get everybody together and just try to, and don't let our leaders try to do it. I think it's up to us. I don't think it's up to the leadership, even though we need better leadership. I think it's up to like the people itself. Like you see what's happening with the social medias. You see what's happening on the news. But what about if we did something ourselves, to try to make opposite of what's happening on those news and social medias? You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like if we have the power to do it, I just don't know how we would do it. I just think we do have the power and control to do it. So that's all. I don't know. It's interesting. But man, I was messing around online like I always do, and I found some fun, some more conspiracy stuff, humans. Oh boy, did I find some stuff, man. I almost like got freaked out. I was getting like some had me looking out the windows type shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, what is this? What is this? So I found some fun stuff. I mean, I'll get into that, but I got some fun stuff to lead me into that, lead us all into that. So there was this one conspiracy I saw, and it was about like a new type of MK Ultra. Like if you're familiar with the MK Ultra, it was like a mind control brainwashing experiment or something like that back in the day, supposedly used by the government, and they would use they would brainwash you and have you use you for like government assassinations and all these crazy things. And there would be like these trigger words that would make you do the deed. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like in Zoolander. It's based off a little joke on that. So you would they played the Relax song, and when they played that, he became this human fighting killing machine. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that was like the MK Ultra. And so anyways, there's a conspiracy going around of like a new form of that, and it's on a global scale. Like they're doing it on a global scale. So they're using like audio clips. Like they're using these audio clips to get in your brain. So when they need to use it, they'll use them again for like trigger words, and they'll like have people react out everywhere at one time. And it's kind of creepy. So I'm looking at all this stuff, and they have these things. They said like these are little samples that went viral, like things that went viral. So these were audio clips that went viral, and there were some like. It sounded like real distorted, like almost like one of them voice boxes when they're doing those old ghost hunter videos, and they got all that white noise going, like, and like the voices come through. They'd be like, you know what I'm saying, and like get the fuck out, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, those voice boxes they use or whatever they are. And and it sounds like you can hear somebody talking in that staticky, horrible audio. And they ask you, what do you think you heard? And you can hear some words, it's like, what the hell? I kind of couldn't hear anything. I kind of heard lemon. I heard the word lemon, So they kind of play it over you they tell you what it says. And then after they tell you what it says, your brain kind of hears it, and then you hear it all clear. And it said something like, the juice of lemon makes fine punch. And then when you play it again, I'm like, oh, that's what I heard. Is it really what you heard, or did they inject that in your mind? You know what I'm saying? So it was really weird. That was one of the weird ones. And then there was this other one. It was like an R2-D2 audio. I mean, it wasn't really R2-D2, but it sounded like him. Sounded like the way he would talk, And then if you listen to it, I'm like, whoa, I kind of might have heard something in there. So then they tell you what it says. They play it again, and they tell you what it says. It said something like, the Constitution Center is at the next stop. So then they play the audio to where it's the R2-D2 shit again, and then you actually hear what they're saying. And then if you close your eyes, you can fucking hear it really fucking clear. And I'm like, that is fucking weird. Or are they just putting that in your head? You know what I'm saying? So then when you see the answers, it's almost like you can't unhear what they put in your head, dude. It's like planted in there. No matter what you do, it's stuck. You know what I'm saying? You're like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? No matter what you try. So, and then I'm sure you guys remember the one, I think it was like an audio where they played the word Laurel. And everybody was hearing Laurel, and some people were hearing the word Yanni. And it started from a kid, some college kid. I think they were doing something in a literature class or something. It was one of their vocabulary words. And when they kept hitting the word, they were hearing Yanni, and they were tripping out. They're like, did I hear Laurel or did I hear Yanni? And I was like, Laurel or Yanni? So I went to the clip and listened to it. And to me, I heard Laurel. So it's really weird. Like people are hearing one thing and the other. And then there was the one, I think they were saying ba or fa. Like, did you hear fa or ba or something like that? And so they show a woman's mouth saying, ba, ba, ba. And then they show her saying the same word, and it looks like she's saying va or pa or fa. So everybody's tripping out, And what they did is they actually overlaid the audio. They had her saying the word fa, but they were still playing her play ba over it to fuck with your mind. So when you saw it, you thought she was saying a different word. But if you close your eyes, it's totally the same audio. And I'm like, man, that is messed up how they can do that shit. So we tried our own experiment, and I seen other people do it, and I wanted to try it, but I did a bad job like editing it, so it didn't really work when I did it, or I would show you guys. But I seen somebody else do it, and I wanted to try it, and it didn't really work. It didn't work good at all. But anyways, there was that audio clip there, And and then there was another one too. I forget. It was like where they said like brainstorm, and it sounded like, to me it just sounded like that word, and then other people were hearing a different word, but all I heard was brainstorm. You know what I'm saying? I heard that's all the only word I heard. And then so now there was another one where people were messing with you. They used an audio clip from Rihanna's and T.I. song. I don't remember the name of the song, but I don't know if it's Live Your Life, if that's the name of the song. But it's that one where she's like, cause I'm a paper chaser, just live your life. Hey, you know that song, right? Well, that lyric I just said, cause I'm a paper chaser, I want you guys to play the song, like, pause this episode after you, like, hear this, or after the episode, you know what I'm saying? Go and play this fucking song and listen to it after I'm telling you this, because I feel like I'm injecting this in your brain right now. So it's Rihanna and T.I. song, right? And where she says, cause I'm a paper chaser. Well, people are closing their eyes and listening to the audio, and they saying that she says, cause I'm a big fucking slut. Cause just live your life. Hey. And I'm like, no fucking way. So now they put that in my head, and every time I hear the song since then, I hear, cause I'm a big fucking slut. No offense, Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? I love your music. I'm a fan. But you need to check that out yourself, because that's pretty wild. That's a pretty wild one. Are they playing with our minds right now? Are they having these games because it's working? This shit is working if they are, man, because it was a wild one. Like I said, either pause it and go check now, or wait till the episode's done, because I got some more crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, now that, like I said, it's in my head, I cannot hear nothing but because I'm a big fucking slut. So I recommend you all try that, and let me know in the comments if it worked for you, because it got me, it got my wife, it got my son, it got. I haven't tried it. That's the only people I tried so far. I'm gonna try more people. So, like I said, let me know how it worked in the comments, because, man, that's all that's stuck in my brain now is that sound. They're messing with our minds. So they were talking about these things like that, those weird conspiracy stuff, and they were saying they're using like high frequencies, and they were saying like children like 20 and younger can hear a frequency that people over 20 and over can't hear. And they were doing these samples like um it was really weird. They did these samples, and you would like just see the audio file, you would see the wave file, you know what I'm saying? You would see the wave file, and there'd be nothing happening. And then they'd put the audio where like the 20 and over would hear it, and it was like an annoying freaking tone. You were like, ugh. So then they'd play for like a young kid, and it was like, their kid would be like, ugh, that's a horrible sound, shut that off. So I wanted to see if it was real, and I'm like, what are those people acting? So I brought the audio clip over to my son, who's under 20, and he was like, oh, what is that, a dog whistle or something? I'm like, what? I was like, I don't hear shit. And I was like, that was fucking weird. So that was another creepy one. And then they're saying like, they're using high frequencies. Like I said, the conspiracy theory people, they're using high frequencies for like musicians, and they're putting it in their music and stuff like that. And they're saying like this one kid, like, kind of exposed it. He was a Russian producer. He came out of nowhere, and he came out with that song. I think it's called The Middle. The chick's like, why don't you just beat me in the middle? Some little pop song or some shit, right? Well, they were saying they started using that high frequency tone in that song and like some Bieber songs, and like now they're like, putting in all this music, and that's why all these like young children under 20 are like, gobbling up all these downloads and streams and all this stuff like that, because they're putting that frequency in all that music. And that's creepy. That's just creepy conspiracy shit. Like I said, I went all the way deep on those to have, that was just creepy stuff. You know what I'm saying? That when you think about it, like they're just putting that shit in our minds. They got like a joystick, and they're fucking with our brains, man. It's kind of weird. But I recommend you guys check some of that shit out. It was pretty wild. That frequency stuff is interesting. And they were doing like samples, and they were doing like all these tests with it. And so then I went in, down the rabbit hole looking at all that frequency shit, and I was like, man, that's something that's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like when they left to buying like, they still have actual physical CDs and albums, but when it started going into streams and downloads, it seemed like just like recently that shit just like exploded in the last decade or whatever, just exploded. You know what I mean? When the SoundCloud dudes blew up, to now it's just like all the social platforms. You know what I'm saying? So it's just wild. So it's just interesting to look at when you look at that frequency they're talking about. And that's why and they were saying like, that's why you hear adults like, oh, turn that crap off. That music sounds crappy. And you see the kids, they're all like, I love it. They're fucking going nuts over every fucking note. You know what I'm saying? They're just going crazy over everything. And you'll be listening to it like it's just some abomination. You know what I'm saying? Like it's some kind of ear pollution, So it's just creepy, dude. Like when you look into that crap, and because then there's, like I said, there's some science behind that study. And it's like, ugh, And there was some science, like I said earlier, about the keeping us separated. There was like an old experiment they did with like, it's totally off the subject of this, but they did some experiment with like kids in a separated campground and all that kind of stuff, man. It was just wild shit, But that frequency stuff is weird because they used it for weapons. I see them using it for like military weapons and like crowd dispersion, like it was a riot control. You know what I mean? And a guy said like when they were showing them designing these weapons, because like I said, I went down that rabbit hole. That everything starts popping up. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to keep clicking. So they were developing these weapons using these frequencies, and now they found frequencies that are like super deterrents. They get like straight up weapons. And the guy said it doesn't even matter if you had earplugs on, the strongest earplugs in the world. It'll hit your body. It'll affect your blood. Like it'll fucking make your blood hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be like, what the fuck? You just want to get the hell out of there. So that frequency stuff is interesting, man. There's some people that talked about using like microwaves over in London or England or one of them guys. He sounded like he had that accent. And they said they were using it to like affect like elections and shit. Like they would microwave cities to make people all fucked up and shit, and to pull their ways under, like to pass certain people into office and shit. And I was like, man, is that true, or is those are crazy conspiracy things that people, conspiracies are fun. Like I said, they're entertaining, and that's like one of them. The guy's like a big time like in political position there, and he's telling these stories like, yeah, we fucking microwave these guys. And fucking fuck them all up, if they didn't do what we wanted. People would get sick and all that kind of shit from the microwaves they'd be shooting down as a weapon. And I'm like, damn. That's just nuts. So like I said, you go down those rabbit holes and you never know what's going to happen. And as stuff gets creepy, like I said, you can go down conspiracies and you would just, if you'll go down a rabbit hole, and I swear to God, like they're just so entertaining. It's like better than drama you would see like on some of the TV shows out there. Some of them TV shows are getting good now, and they're using those conspiracies and making shows based off of them. And like, some of them conspiracies ain't turning out to be conspiracies anymore. They're like coming out more and more. Some facts come out. You're like, man, remember that used to be like people said that was bullshit, now it ain't bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of creepy that stuff's happening more and more. Way more and more. So, okay, humans. I was messing around and I found a doozy. I found a really good, interesting conspiracy. And, I was playing around, looking around at this conspiracy, and then I found some other things on accident. I found a couple puzzle pieces on accident that freaked me out. And I'm kind of afraid to say them right now because I don't know. I don't think I'm the only person that's ever brought this stuff out, but I'm still kind of afraid to. I'm kind of chicken. I'm gonna look out my window right now. But so there's the conspiracy of like the DNA conspiracy. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. The conspiracy of your DNA and your data that it possesses. No. So, anyways, you've heard of that 23andMe company, and a lot of people, this ain't sponsored or nothing. I'm not sponsored by anybody. And so there's this 23andMe. You guys know what it is. It do like that. They check your family tree. You're gonna see where you really came from. You know what I'm saying? Find out if you're really white. No, I'm just kidding. Find out if you need to be less white because you just took the 23andMe test and it was like, okay, you're not all the way 100% white, so you need to be less white. Maybe that's what the Coke video meant. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, so this DNA conspiracy with this company are doing this. They say they're collecting all our DNA basically. Like they're using it for more than what we think they're doing it for. Like more than just our family tree. So they're saying all these things, they're storing all our DNA, and we don't know why. Like, is it for the next Noah's Ark? You know what I'm saying? Is it something like that? Who knows? But it's really creepy. So they say they're selling our DNA, because there's all kinds of data. And there's all kinds of data in our DNA and it has like all our health in there. Like our saliva shows you like how we're living. It's showing, and there's like a lot of information in that DNA that sample you give away. Okay. So supposedly they're selling this to companies or whatever. And, they're basically putting these ads in your faces and all these things and trying to sell you things based off of that DNA sample. That's just one of the things in this conspiracy that they were talking about. This is one thing they say they're doing with your data. So now they know how you're shitting and what you're eating, what you like and don't like, and how your body's working. What's working good, what needs a tune-up, So that's kind of creepy. And so, like I said, they have your health information, and they're storing all this. Excuse me, I just got the hiccups. And they're storing all this stuff. And I guess they're owned by Google. Well, not owned by Google, but I guess Google was wanted to be part of this company. So much so that they donated like $3.9 million, I guess. Excuse me. So they donated all this money to be involved in this company. And, man, so here's where I got into like creepy mode. Excuse me. Here's where it got me like super creeped out. Excuse me. So anyways, the creators of 23andMe, one of the creators is a woman. Excuse me. And she happens to be married to one of the owners and creators of Google. Now, that's kind of weird coincidence, huh? A company interested in your DNA and now Google, like they're like trying to run everything. You know what I'm saying? That's a weird coincidence. So now that company is forever tied with that company because they're married. So that's fucking weird because Google's one of the biggest search engines, right? They listen to what you talk about. They put that shit all in your search, right in your face. Oh, excuse me, on your search engines. They put it on all your social medias. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird coincidence. And now, here's the other one. Here's the third craziness. The sister of that woman, who happens to be one of the creators of 23andMe, happens to be the CEO of YouTube. That's probably who gave me these hiccups right now. These hiccups are bothering me. But I'm going to get through it. So yeah, the CEO of YouTube is the sister of one of the women who created 23andMe, who happens to be married to one of the creators of Google. That trifecta of powerhouse right there. To me, that is so creepy on so many levels. On like a lot of levels. That is just, that's kind of creepy, man. Google's trying to control everything as it is. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to control. They want everything in your house. They want Alexas, turning your heaters on and doing all these things and checking your blood pressure while you're sleeping. And they want, it's just kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? That's a weird coincidence. The CEO of YouTube is related to the 23andMe, who happens to be married to the owner of Google. And these hiccups suck. So, that was the one I told you, like, that kind of creeped me out. You know what I'm saying? It was like a creepy connection. There was a creepy connection with that shit. So, they're trying to, like I said, they know about your DNA. They're trying to mess you up, and it's weird the way things have turned. things have changed in a weird direction, in my opinion. Like you got all the crazy, like, music's changed. Everything's been changing. The way you're allowed to talk about, you used to be able to talk about real shit in the street. So like music's changed. You can't get around that. It's changed from all the generations, not even the generations, just like from the years. You know what I'm saying? You can't really like try to like educate people when you want to do music anymore. It seems like it seems like it's like almost like a forbidden thing. You can't talk about real stuff, or else they ain't gonna play your music. Like you got to search like all the streaming platforms in order to hear that kind of other kind of music, because the radios ain't allowed to play them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a shame. So, anyways, so they let you promote like now, like they let all these guys promote like the things that are bad for you. They make you think that things are good for you, but they're only going to promote the things that are bad for you. Like you see on TV, alcohol and prescription drugs and stuff like that. But they don't. And then even in the rap music too, that's all they're promoting are like prescription drugs and alcohol. And other rappers used to promote, drinking and drugs and things like that. But they also were like educators at the same time, and that part is like missing in the music. I feel like it's like taken out forcefully. Because I don't think every artist comes out like that, you know what I mean? But nowadays they're probably just made or molded to be that kind of artist, regardless if they want to or not. They give them that big paycheck, and then those guys will do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, prescription pills and all these like hard drugs, like synthetic drugs, they're trying to they're trying to promote those, and like they're trying to keep you away from like mind expanding drugs, like psychedelics. And some places are starting to legalize like the mushrooms, the magic mushrooms, psilocybin. I think psilocybin is the word. They're trying to like legalize those for like medical treatments and stuff. Excuse me. So, anyways, um, so yeah, they're like, these psychedelics that people are using, and some of these doctors are making like medical breakthroughs using them. Um, it's just bananas, like I said, because some of these things are helping people in so many ways. Like the mushrooms they're using now are helping people with depression, helping people in like from right here in hospice and weird things like that. And man, these hiccups suck. So, anyways, even like DMT, okay, for instance, um, even the government did experiments with LSD. They were using experiments and controlling people's minds and doing all these weird things. And they say that Charles Manson was part of those experiments, and like a bunch of other weirdos. You know what I'm saying? They were doing all these things with these psychedelics. But back to DMT. It's a illegal substance, but supposedly these are like mind expanding drugs, like with the mushrooms and things like that. So it's a natural thing. It comes from a root. I think it's made from a root of a plant of some sort or something. And I guess it's like it's like a psychedelic, and it's smoked. I guess you smoke it, and then I guess people, which this is really weird. Okay, this is the reason I'm bringing up the DMT. I'm gonna get through this, hiccups or not. You know what I'm saying? So this is the reason I keep bringing up the DMT. It's really interesting because they talk about, they say 90% of all the users all say when they smoke this that a voice comes in their head and it says, we're so happy you found this technology. And that's pretty creepy. I've never experienced this stuff. I don't know nothing about it. I mean, other than what I've seen in videos and read about. But supposedly 90% of the people that use it have all heard some voice say, "We're so happy you found this technology." And I think that's wild. It's just creepy. And then I've spoke on this before, where now the government's getting involved with it, because a lot of people, I've heard Alex Jones and other people, and made me go do some research on my own. And he would talk about our government is like trying to see this, and the people describe this like this world like a realm. It's like another realm or something. And like I said, it's like time affects you differently because over there, like when you're on this, it feels like you're there for like a long time, and supposedly in real time here, it's only like 15 minutes or something, 15 minutes or something like that. So everybody claims they have this, wild area, a wild experience, and you see this other place, and so supposedly our government's getting involved now, and they're trying to map out this area, and they're trying to make supposedly like negotiate with whatever these beings are that you see there. Because supposedly they talk about you see like colors on like so many like amazing color spectrums that you can't even like imagine. Like they say like it's just like everybody experience like you see people on videos. There's some videos where you can see someone actually doing it. Ooh, excuse me, and and you could see him doing it, and they're explaining their experience they're having. So it's really interesting because a lot of people's experiences are very similar, and that's like I'm saying that 90% that hear that voice. There's people that say the same thing about these beings that they're there that you see and that you encounter. So it's kind of creepy, like, and that are so much that our government's getting involved makes it also like, wow, that's kind of something to think about, something that makes me want to read about it more, and it's really interesting, And then you hear about the toad, like Mike Tyson always talked about the toad. Um, the toad shows you everything. It shows you no, that's Mike Tyson when he says that shit. But that I think it's ayahuasca or something like that. I forget what they call it. But I guess they get it off a toad. You know what I'm saying? And that makes you have some sort of experience as well. And then, people talk about the crazy experiences that you have from that as well. And that's a weird thing too. Though, if you go to where they actually extract it, it's like a venom from the frog's skin, I guess. And I've seen it. I've seen it done before. I've watched these videos and I've seen documentaries. It's really wild. They'll grab the frog. They'll go to this place in the jungle. Well, I don't know if it's a jungle, but it looks like a jungle. You know what I'm saying? And they go to this area and they catch this frog and they tie the frog. They tie the frog up like ritualistic style, like with this green like plant that's already in the ground. And they have them strapped up like, excuse me, and they have them strapped up like this, dude. It looks crazy. Like they have the frog all tied up, with this green vine, and it's really wild. And so from there, they will scrape off the venom from his back, and they grab this little, piece of steel or whatever it is, and they'll burn your skin, and then they wipe the venom in that wound so it goes into your bloodstream. And they cover it up, and then you have this experience. And it's really interesting when you see this. And some people, too, say there's a wild, they go to some other place, too. It's really, and like see some of the locals or see whoever's doing it or the guy who, like, in the documentary who was trying it. Some of them will get in fear, and you'll hear them shout out or something in fear. Excuse me. And it's wild. You'll hear them like shout out, like, oh, whatever they saw. Or one person even said they saw themselves. It was really interesting. They were like fighting against themselves or some creepy shit like that. You know, even when Tyson's experience, he said something like it showed himself that he was nothing. It showed him in his world like he thought he was all the king and all this high royalty because he was this big fighting warrior. But when he did that stuff, it showed him that he was nothing. Like his ego was nothing. Like that ego thing was gone. It killed it. It like assassinated your ego and shows you that you're not. You're just this little piece of this big giant thing. So it's really creepy. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. So it's got my attention. I'm going to look into more stuff like that. I'm going to like do some more research on it because it's really wild, and it feels like whoever controls the world or whatever, they just want us to not even think about things like that. Like they always talk about space and they always want us looking at space when what if the truth is right, they want us looking up there when the truth is actually right here under our feet. The answers we're looking for are probably like right here under our feet. And that's why they got us looking over in space. Look over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the rabbit, or there's Elvis. Those kind of sleight of hand type things. Like, what if they're doing that to keep us away from like actual answers that we have on this planet? So it's just stuff to think about. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun, and because we could have all kinds of healing things that like look at all the things that come from this planet. And there's nothing close to us like in our solar system that does what we do. For us to be like, that's it. I don't think that's it. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a higher purpose. When we have these seeds and fish and flowers and plants that come out of the ground and create oxygen and do these things. It's like big cycles and all these things that happen together on this planet. For us to not have anything else in our solar system, I think we're part of a big giant, a big important system. I think we're more important than we think we are, and I think we need to realize that, and that might even bring us together. Excuse me. And that might even bring us together. You can only hope. You can only hope for the best. But like I said, I feel like they're deterring us from looking for where the truth really is. They got us looking up there when it's probably under our feet, or in the water, or who knows? It could be, or within us ourselves. That's why they're trying to give us all these machines and all this technology to keep us from learning the real capabilities of, or maybe our true capabilities of what we really are. Like they said with the music, I feel like the music's trying to dumb us down. All this technology, they want to put machines all in your house. Like I said, they want to control your toilet paper, your toilet paper purchasing amounts. They want Alexa to control your flushing of your toilets and your water flow and your heater. You know what I'm saying? To tell you that this is how you're supposed to live. Then you're gonna have they're gonna do all this stuff so much, like it's gonna evolve to where they're like, now you get food pellets. We're gonna get like limited food pellets. It's gonna be like you only get 12 pellets per family, depending on how many children you have. You only get these 12 pellets, and these little pellets ain't gonna be like good food anymore. Our food is gonna evolve to just nasty, just stuff that we're supposed to need to survive. It's gonna just taste like aspirin or some shit, and it's gonna be these little pellets. If we let all these machines keep doing all this shit for us, they're gonna be like, this is what the machine decided what you need. You already got that crazy Gates dude trying to tell us to eat synthetic meats. I don't want synthetic meats. I want my shit right off the cow or the pig or the bird, or you know what I'm saying. I don't want it coming off a little petri dish. Not me. I don't know about you humans. I want real meat. And it's all produced here on this planet. Why do they want us to eat synthetic stuff when our Earth, our planet, our Mother Earth provides us with all that we need? And they're trying to make us think that that it's not providing us that we need to go to, why do we got to go to McDonald's all the time? I love McDonald's. I love pizza. But why do we got to go there all the time when this planet provides us with a lot of food? It's something to think about. Why do they want us eating all this crap when the planet actually provides us with stuff that we actually need? And that's why I think it's wild. They're promoting all this stuff that we don't need when we get what we need from this planet right here. That's why I feel like they're looking at, look at the TV, watch McDonald's and Ronald McDonald's and eat the Burger Kings and eat the Wendy's and eat the pizzas. I love me some pizzas. I do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm starting to notice. I'm starting to notice a little bit. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, wow, you put these seeds in the ground and vegetables come out and plants come out. You feed your animals, and fish are in the water. Fish are in the water, and you know what I'm saying? You got animals up here that provide things for everybody, and it's just crazy. But they want you eating, chicken nuggets. They want you to get that pizza and get that double whop, get that double whopper. And but they don't want you to fucking grow your own garden in the backyard. They want to control all your seeds. They even got that dude buying all the farms. That crazy great dude. He's buying all the farms, but yet wants you to grow synthetic meat. Where the farms that are growing all the produce, he's buying them for some weird reason. but he's telling us to buy fake meats. Now, that's another thing that creeps me out. You know, this dude's buying all the farms, and he's telling us to eat fake synthetic food, but he's buying all the places that makes real food. Now, is he buying all them farms so he can stock up his family when all the crazy shit goes down and he gets to eat all the real good food and we're stuck on all this, like, whatever this is, this food paste? And my man gets to eat real cows, and real bacon, real chickens, and real vegetables and real green beans. And we get to eat the stuff that, you know, was made in the lab. I don't know, but it's kind of creepy. Well, I made it through these hiccups, and I hope you liked this episode. And if you did, hit me with a like and subscription, and turn on that notification button. I drop an episode every Wednesday and Saturday, and I appreciate y'all hanging out with me in all these vent sessions. And this has been another episode of Meant to Vent. Till next time, humans. See ya.
Pretty good.